It was one of those perfect spring afternoons, the kind that makes everything feel alive. The sun was shining bright, and I could hear the distant laughter of children playing outside. I had just come home from a long day at work, ready to relax. As I entered the living room, I noticed Nathan's phone lying on the coffee table. It was unusual for him to leave it behind. Curiosity tugged at me, pulling me closer to the screen. What harm could it do to just take a quick look? As I picked it up, my heart raced. I knew I shouldn't, but a voice in my head whispered, "Just a peek." I opened the Messages app, my fingers trembling slightly. The first few messages were harmless, filled with jokes and mundane updates. But then, one message caught my eye. It was from a name I didn't recognize. "Can't wait to see you tonight. Just you and me. I miss you." My stomach dropped. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. I continued scrolling, each message revealing more of Nathan's secret life. My heart sank deeper as I read through conversations that dripped with intimacy and affection, words meant for someone else. I couldn't believe it. Nathan, my husband of 5 years, was having an affair. How could he do this to me? My mind raced with questions. What had I missed? How could I be so blind? I felt a surge of emotions wash over me. Anger, sadness, confusion. It was as if the ground beneath me had vanished, leaving me suspended in a pit of betrayal. "Why would you do this to me, Nathan?" I mumbled under my breath, knowing he wasn't there to hear me. My heart raced with the weight of my discovery. I could feel the heat rising to my face, a mix of fury and profound sadness. I never imagined that our life together was built on such lies. I thought about confronting him. Should I take him aside and talk about it in private, or should I expose him in front of our friends? The idea of doing it publicly made my heart race with a different kind of excitement. Why should I keep this secret? Maybe it was time to show him that I wouldn't stand for his betrayal. As I sat there with his phone in my hands, the internal conflict began to churn inside me. What's the right thing to do? I asked myself. I could just pretend I didn't know, keep playing the role of the unsuspecting wife. But the thought of being the quiet woman, the one who lets things slide, made me feel sick. Why should I feel ashamed or embarrassed? I thought. He's the one who should feel that way. The sunlight streaming through the window felt different now, almost mocking. I set the phone down, my hands shaking. I needed to talk to Clara and Jamal, my closest friends. They would know what to do. I needed their support, their strength. Taking a deep breath, I resolved to take control of the situation. I would not let Nathan's actions define me. I would confront him, not in the shadows, but in the light of day. "Tomorrow at lunch I'll do it," I whispered to myself, feeling a flicker of determination ignite within me. I would not stay quiet. I would reclaim my power. As I stared out the window, thoughts swirling in my mind, I realized that this was not just about Nathan. It was about me. I had the chance to take a stand and fight for my self-worth. The weight of my decision felt heavy, but I knew it was time to speak up. What would I say? How would Nathan react? Questions flooded my mind, but one thing was clear. I was ready to face the truth, no matter how painful it might be. The journey ahead would be tough, but I was prepared to take that first step. Sitting in my living room, I stared out the window at the blooming flowers outside, but I felt anything but cheerful. The sunlight streamed in, brightening the room, yet I felt a heavy cloud hanging over me. I picked up my phone and typed a quick message to Clara. "Can we meet? I need to talk." Clara replied almost immediately, "Of course, how about lunch tomorrow?" I took a deep breath, knowing I needed to share everything with her and Jamal. I needed their support. The next day, as I sat across from Clara and Jamal at our favorite cafe, I could feel the weight of the last few days pressing down on me. Clara leaned forward, concern etched on her face. "Ilara, you look pale. What's going on?" I hesitated, my heart racing. I didn't want to cry, but the emotions bubbled up inside me. "I found Nathan's phone," I finally said, my voice shaky. "He's been cheating on me." Clara gasped, her eyes wide. "Oh no, Ilara, I'm so sorry." Jamal clenched his fists on the table. "What a jerk! You deserve better than this." I wiped away a tear and nodded. "I can't believe I trusted him. We had plans, dreams. I thought we were happy." Clara reached across the table and took my hand. "What do you want to do about it?" I took a deep breath, feeling a spark of anger ignite within me. "I want to confront him. I can't just sit back and let this slide. I need to expose him, but I'm scared." "Scared of what?" Jamal asked, his voice steady. "Scared of his reaction, or scared of finally standing up for yourself?" I looked down, thinking of all the times I had kept quiet, hoping things would get better. But this was different. "I don't want to be the quiet woman anymore. I want to be strong." "Then do it," Clara said, her voice firm. "You have every right to call him out, especially in front of friends. It will be a public setting, and he won't be able to hide." The idea of confronting Nathan in front of everyone both thrilled and terrified me. What if he tries to defend himself? What if he lies? Jamal shrugged. "Let him. The truth is on your side. You have nothing to lose anymore." I nodded slowly, feeling the weight of their words sink in. "Okay, I'll do it at the lunch gathering next week. I'll make sure everyone knows what he's done." Clara smiled, her eyes shining with support. "That's the spirit. You're taking control of your life, Ilara. I'm proud of you." As we continued our conversation, I couldn't help but think about the future I had imagined with Nathan. Children, a bigger home, and growing old together. All those dreams felt shattered now, like glass scattered on the floor. I felt a wave of sadness wash over me, but I pushed it back. I need to remember that I can build a new future, one that doesn't involve him, I said, my voice stronger now. "I have to reclaim my identity." "Exactly," Jamal said, a smile breaking through his earlier anger. "You're not just Nathan's wife. You're Ilara, a strong woman with her own dreams." I smiled at my friends, grateful for their support. The decision to confront Nathan felt heavy, but empowering at the same time. Sitting there with Clara and Jamal, I realized I was no longer alone in this fight. As we finished our lunch, I felt a new sense of determination bubbling inside me. I would face Nathan, not just for myself, but for all the times I had kept quiet. I would find my voice and stand tall, no longer afraid of the truth. The sun was setting as I left the cafe, casting a golden glow over everything. I took a deep breath, feeling the weight on my shoulders begin to lift. I was ready to reclaim my life. As I stepped into the trendy restaurant, the warm sun spilled through the large windows, casting cheerful light on the tables filled with friends laughing and sharing stories. I wore a striking red dress, a bold choice that made me feel both fierce and vulnerable at the same time. This dress was my armor, a symbol of my determination to reclaim my passion and strength. I took a deep breath, my heart pounding as I spotted Nathan across the room, surrounded by our friends, Clara and Jamal among them. "Look who it is!" Clara called out, waving me over with a smile. I forced a smile back, but inside, I felt a storm brewing. I knew what I had to do. The laughter around the table dimmed as I approached, the air thickening with tension. I could feel Nathan's eyes on me, a mix of surprise and confusion. "Hey, Ilara, you look amazing," Jamal said, nudging Clara. I nodded, appreciating their support, but knowing that this moment was not about small talk. "Can I have a word with Nathan?" I asked, my voice steady, cutting through the light-hearted chatter. Everyone fell silent, their eyes darting between me and Nathan. He shifted in his seat, a hint of discomfort flashing across his face. Sure," Nathan said, hesitating as he stood up. I led him away from the table, my heart racing. but I felt a strange sense of calm wash over me. This was my moment. We paused near a quieter corner of the restaurant, and I turned to face him. "Nathan, we need to talk." My voice was firm, and I could see his expression change from surprise to concern. "Is everything okay?" he asked, his brow furrowing. I took a deep breath, steadying myself for what I was about to say. "Not really. I found your phone," I said, my words tumbling out. "And I saw the messages, the ones with her." The words hung in the air like a heavy weight, and I watched as shock spread across his face. "Lara, he stammered, his cheeks flushing with shame. I felt a rush of empowerment as I prepared to unleash the truth. "Don't! Just don't!" I interrupted, my voice rising slightly. "You have no idea how betrayed I feel. All these years, I thought we were building something real. I thought we were happy." My heart ached as the tears threatened to spill, but I held them back. I needed to be strong. "Please, let me explain," he pleaded, his eyes darting around as if searching for an escape. But there was no escape from this moment. "Explain what?" I shot back, my anger bubbling to the surface. "How you let me live in a lie? How you made me feel like I was enough when clearly I wasn't." My voice was steady, but inside I felt like I was shattering. The silence stretched between us, thick and suffocating. And then I saw it, the shame etched on his face. It fueled my resolve. "You think you can just brush this off? You think I'm going to stand here and let you make excuses for your actions? I deserve better than this. I deserve honesty and respect." "Please, Lara," Nathan begged, desperation creeping into his voice. "It was a mistake. I never meant to hurt you." "Then why did you do it?" I challenged, my heart pounding. "You had a choice, Nathan. You chose to betray me." I know," he said, raising his hands in surrender. "I messed up. I thought I could handle it, but you couldn't," I interrupted, my voice strong. "You couldn't handle the truth, and now look where we are. I won't be the quiet woman anymore. I won't let you or anyone else dictate how I feel or how I live my life." As I spoke, I felt a wave of empowerment wash over me, pushing away the sadness and anger. I was no longer a victim. I was standing my ground, confronting the man who had shattered my world. I could see the tension in the air, the weight of my words affecting not just us, but everyone at the table. "Do you understand what you've lost?" I asked, my voice quieter now, but still firm. "You've lost my trust. You've lost the love we had. And you've lost me." Nathan stood there, his eyes filled with regret, but it was too late. I turned away, leaving him in that corner of the restaurant, feeling the weight of his shame behind me as I walked back to my friends. I looked at Clara and Jamal, who met my gaze with proud smiles. In that moment, I knew I was ready to embrace whatever came next. As I stood there, the atmosphere in the restaurant shifted. It was as if time slowed down, and all eyes turned to me. I could feel the weight of my heart racing in my chest, each beat echoing the pain I had just revealed. I took a deep breath, my mind swirling with emotions. The silence felt heavy, filled with unspoken words and the tension of unresolved feelings. "How could you do this to me, Nathan?" I asked, my voice steady but laced with the tremor of pain. I could see him squirm in his seat, his face paling as he realized the extent of my knowledge. 5 years we spent building a life together, and you threw it away for someone else? Do you even care about what you've done? Nathan's eyes darted around the table, searching for support, but there was none to be found. Clara and Jamal sat beside me, their expressions a mix of shock and solidarity. I could feel their strength radiating towards me, and it fueled my determination. It was my moment to reclaim my voice, to take control of this situation that had spun so far out of my hands. "I deserve better than this," I continued, my heart pounding. "I've given you everything, and you chose to betray me. You chose to lie. Do you even know what you've lost?" Tears brimmed in my eyes, but they were not tears of sorrow. They were tears of strength, a testament to the resilience I had hidden away for too long. I wanted Nathan to see the pain he had caused, but I also wanted him to understand that this moment was not just about him. It was about me, about my journey, and my newfound independence. "I thought we were building a future together," I said, my voice rising. "I dreamed of children, a home filled with laughter. Did any of that mean anything to you? Or was it all just a game?" The restaurant was silent. The clinking of cutlery had ceased, and the whispers that usually filled the air turned into an eerie hush. I could feel the weight of everyone's gaze on us, but it didn't scare me. I was tired of being the quiet woman, the one who sat back and let things happen. Today, I was taking a stand. "I want you to understand this, Nathan," I said, my voice firm. "This is not just about your mistakes. This is about me reclaiming my life. I am not going to be the woman who quietly accepts betrayal. I will not let your choices define my happiness." His face showed the mix of guilt and shame, and for a moment, I thought I saw a flicker of regret in his eyes. But that flicker quickly faded as he opened his mouth to speak. "Ilara, No!" I cut him off, feeling the strength surge through me. "Don't try to explain. Don't give me excuses. I don't want to hear how sorry you are. I want you to understand that I will not be your victim." Clara reached for my hand, squeezing it gently. I glanced at her and saw the pride in her eyes. Jamal nodded in encouragement, and in that moment, I realized I was not alone. I had my friends by my side, and their support made me feel invincible. The confrontation hung in the air, a heavy silence enveloping us. I could see the shock on the faces of our friends, their expressions a mix of disbelief and empathy. I knew this was a turning point, not only for Nathan and me, but also for my own identity. As I looked around the table, I took a deep breath, feeling a sense of liberation wash over me. I had spoken my truth, and I felt lighter, more powerful than I had in years. I was no longer defined by Nathan's choices. I was Ilara, a woman who was ready to reclaim her story. With that, I stood tall, the tears in my eyes now symbols of my strength rather than my sorrow. I had faced the storm, and I was ready to emerge from it, not as a victim, but as a woman ready to embrace whatever came next. As I walked out of the restaurant, a mix of exhilaration and relief washed over me. My heart raced, and I felt a strange lightness in my chest. I had done it. I had confronted Nathan in front of our friends. It was as if I had shed a heavy coat that had weighed me down for years. But as the adrenaline faded, reality began to settle in. What would life look like now? My phone buzzed in my purse. I pulled it out, my hands trembling slightly. It was a message from Nathan. "Can we talk? I need to explain." I frowned at the screen. Did he really think he could just brush this off? I took a deep breath and replied, "No, Nathan. I don't want to talk right now." "Please, Ilara, I didn't mean for things to go this way," he texted back. My fingers hovered over the screen as anger bubbled up inside me. I typed back, "You made your choices, Nathan. I can't just forget what you did." I hit send and felt a surge of pride. I was standing my ground. "Let's talk in person. I can explain everything," he insisted. I closed my eyes for a moment, imagining his face, the way he always looked when he was trying to charm me. But I wasn't falling for it this time. I didn't need to hear any more excuses. I was done. Clara and Jamal arrived shortly after, their faces bright with concern. "Ilara, are you okay?" Clara asked, her eyes wide. "I think so," I replied, trying to sound stronger than I felt. I never thought I would have to do that." Jamal placed a reassuring hand on my shoulder. "You were brave. You stood up for yourself, and that's what matters." "Yeah," I nodded, still processing everything. "But what now? I feel so lost." "Let's get out of here," Clara suggested. "We can go to my place, have some wine, and just relax. You need time to breathe." I smiled weakly. That sounds good. As we walked to Clara's car, I felt a flicker of hope. Maybe this was the start of something new for me. I climbed into the back seat, and as we drove, I glanced out the window. The world seemed brighter, colors more vibrant. Perhaps I could find my way again. At Clara's apartment, we settled on the couch with glasses of wine. The atmosphere was warm and comforting. "You really showed him today," Clara said, raising her glass in a toast. "To you, Alara, to new beginnings." "To new beginnings," I echoed, clinking my glass against theirs. Jamal leaned in, his expression serious. "But seriously, Alara, how are you feeling? This is a big change." "I feel free, but also scared," I admitted. "I never thought I would be without Nathan. He was my whole life for so long." Clara nodded. "That's understandable. It's okay to be scared. But remember, you have us. We'll be here every step of the way." I took a sip of wine, letting the warmth spread through me. "I want to be happy again, but I don't know how." "You will," Jamal assured me. "Start small. Rediscover what you love. What did you enjoy before Nathan?" I thought for a moment. "I used to love painting. I haven't picked up a brush in years." Clara's eyes lit up. "Then that's where you start. Let's find a class or something. You need to express yourself." I felt a spark of excitement at the idea. That could be fun. "And we can plan some outings," Jamal added. "Let's go hiking, see some art, just live a little." The thought of doing things I loved made me feel hopeful. "I'd like that," I said, feeling a smile break through. It felt good to think about the future. As the night went on, we talked and laughed, and for the first time in a long time, I felt a sense of belonging. I realized that the betrayal, while painful, had given me clarity. I could pursue my own happiness now, without the weight of Nathan's deceit holding me back. As I looked around at my friends, I felt grateful. Their support was a lifeline, guiding me through this new reality. I was no longer the quiet woman who accepted betrayal. I was Alara, ready to reclaim her life. As I stepped into the world again, I felt a sense of freedom I hadn't experienced in years. The weight of Nathan's betrayal was still heavy on my heart, but I was ready to turn the page. I began my journey of self-discovery, choosing to embrace the parts of me I had lost along the way. Each day became a new opportunity to find joy in the little things that I had set aside for Nathan. One sunny afternoon, I met up with Clara and Jamal at our favorite cafe. As I sat down, I noticed the way the sunlight danced through the leaves, casting playful shadows on the table. "It's beautiful out today, isn't it?" I said, taking a deep breath of fresh air. Clara smiled, her eyes sparkling. "It really is. I love this time of year. It feels like anything is possible." "Speaking of possibilities," Jamal chimed in, leaning forward with excitement. "Have you thought more about taking that painting class? You used to love it." I hesitated for a moment, remembering how I used to spend hours with a brush in hand, lost in colors and shapes. "I don't know. I haven't painted in ages. What if I'm not good anymore?" "Does it matter?" Clara asked, her tone encouraging. "It's not about being good. It's about expressing yourself and having fun. Just think of how much you loved it before." Her words sparked something inside me. "You're right. I should just go for it." I felt a thrill at the thought of picking up a brush again. "Let's do it together. I'll sign up for the class." "Now that's the spirit," Jamal grinned. "We'll have a painting party." That evening, I signed up for the class and felt a rush of excitement. I also began reconnecting with friends I had neglected. I called my old college roommate, Mia, who lived in another city. "Hey, Mia, it's been too long," I said, my voice bubbling with energy. "Ilara, wow, it's so good to hear from you. How have you been?" she replied, her warmth wrapping around me like a cozy blanket. "It's a long story. but I'm finally ready to focus on me again. I want to visit you soon. I miss our adventures." "Absolutely. Come anytime. We'll have the best time," she said, laughter in her voice. As the days turned into weeks, I found myself trying new things. I took long walks in the park, rediscovered my love for cooking, and even tried yoga for the first time. With each new experience, I felt the layers of pain slowly peel away. I was becoming the person I had always wanted to be. One evening, Clara and Jamal suggested a little celebration. "Let's throw a party to celebrate you, Ilara, your new beginning," Clara said with a twinkle in her eye. I laughed, feeling a rush of warmth. "A celebration? For me?" "Of course! You deserve it," Jamal added. "We'll invite everyone and make it a night to remember." The night of the party arrived, and I felt a mix of excitement and nerves. I chose a vibrant dress that made me feel alive. As I walked into the room filled with friends, I was overwhelmed by the love and support surrounding me. "Welcome to your new life, Ilara," Clara cheered, raising her glass. "Cheers to new beginnings," Jamal shouted, his enthusiasm infectious. As we toasted, I felt a wave of gratitude wash over me. I was surrounded by people who loved me for who I was, not who I had been with Nathan. Later that night, as I looked around at my friends laughing and enjoying themselves, I realized how far I had come. "You know," I said, my voice rising above the chatter, "I've learned that while betrayal can hurt, it can also lead to amazing opportunities for growth. I'm so grateful for all of you." The room fell quiet, and Clara smiled, her eyes shining. "We're proud of you, Ilara. This is just the beginning." And in that moment, I understood that I was stepping into a future filled with possibilities, a future that was mine to create. The journey ahead might be uncertain, but I was ready to embrace it with open arms. Share this story if you believe that healing can lead to beautiful new beginnings. Leave a comment about a time you took a leap of faith and how it changed your life. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one.